For the old ESPN segment Around the Horn, we have our own called the 2-minute drill. Brendan came up with this idea. I will be the host. The three down below me will be the debaters. Yes. I have multitude of topics in hand. If you go on and won't shut up, you will lose points and I will hard mute you.
Oh, damn.
You talk over someone, you lose points. It's the same rules.
Yeah,
Same rules.
And if you sound like an idiot,
you lose points.
Yeah.
You can go negative points here.
Yes.
All right. We're going to start off easy, if you will. I saw this one on social media and it had me like, yeah, I need to write that down.
Oh, God.
Brendan can start with this one.
Oh, God.
Fernando Mendoza is going to be another Tim Tebow.
I don't see that happening. Tim Tebow had the ability. I don't think Tim Tebow ever really had the true shot he could have had in the NFL, where Mendoza is fully getting everything backing behind him between, Tom Brady as a mentor with the ownership of the Raiders. He's got, we talked about their receiving corps. It's not the absolute best, but they do have some people that can produce for him. They went out and helped build an O-line, so the Raiders are trying everything they can to give Mendoza the keys for success. So I don't necessarily see him being another Tim Tebow, but do I see him being an absolute all-star within the first, let's just say, 2 years of his career? No, but I see him being a steady, consistent quarterback just based off his college performances and based off the tools, like I said, the tools the Raiders are trying to provide him with.
Okay.
Am I allowed to, do I go now? Or Jeff?
You go.
All right, so I'm with Brennan. If you watch Mendoza's college tape, and I'm not trying to toot the horn of my own team, Ohio State's defense had extreme talent, 3-4 first-round picks, and Matt Patricia is a decorated defensive coordinator in the NFL. He won that game, didn't play great, but he had the composure. I have a feeling Mendoza is going to be a bit of a dud to what people are expecting, and I wish the Raiders would taper the expectations this year because they should know, besides Brock Bowers and Genty, you're going to have room to grow. So please taper the expectations and give him multiple years. Do not be the one-year wonder team that then goes and drafts another quarterback. Give him time. He has credentials, and he has the height and the arm strength, and he can run. So just give him time. I think he'll be a very good NFL player, better than Tebow, obviously.
Oh, my turn. I was waiting. I will agree with my fellow co-hosts here. I do not see him being another Tim Tebow. He has the better arm strength than Tim Tebow. I feel as if I'm the Raiders, I do not start him right away. You're going to ask for trouble. Do not start him right away. I don't care how good he looks in practice. You let him learn behind Kirk Cousins. You have Kirk Cousins for a reason. Use Kirk Cousins. He does have the weapons, but like Jordan said, he has the better arm strength. He's a bigger dude than Tim Tebow. Don't rush him into this thing because all you need to do is have him get injured week 2 and derail his career. Let him sit, let him learn. If you want to insert him week 6, by all means, but he will have a better career as long as he learns to look off his number one receiver option. He will have the better career than Tim Tebow. He is the better quarterback than Tim Tebow.
Okay. Keeping up with quarterbacks, because I agree with all of you guys. This is a personal take of mine. Josh Allen's never going to win a Super Bowl in Buffalo. Jordan.
Oh, I disagree. With the Chiefs, I think we all can say the Chiefs are not going to be what they were for the next 3 years, let's just say. And this is Josh Allen's prime. DJ Moore's a great acquisition. New head coach, obviously, but Josh Allen is a decorated MVP quarterback. There's not much more you can ask for home field advantage-wise. Do they have the New England Patriots to compete within their division now? Yes. but I still have faith that Josh Allen in the next 3 to 4 years, especially without the big bad wolf that's been his kryptonite, I think Josh Allen's going to be able to get a Super Bowl in these next 3 years as long as he stays healthy. And please stop running the ball as much, Josh. I know it's a huge part of your game. Please, please, please. I love you. Stop running the football as much because you're getting to the age now where Cam Newton was at when Cam Newton got hurt. Please be careful, and you will have a chance every season with him at quarterback.
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Jordan, where I don't necessarily think he won't, but I don't necessarily think he could. I think it's still one of those things that's 50-50. Like Jordan said, they've constantly tried to either trade for players to help him or sign players in the offseason that have helped him. I think the biggest thing this year, me and Jordan talked about it, is the new head coaching signing. I think trying to get used to that to start the year is going to be, you'll definitely see a little fluctuation of production probably out of him. But that being said, like Jordan said, he is a very decorated quarterback. He has all the talent possible that you can want. The division right now is probably not the hardest, but definitely the weakest that it's been in a very long time. Between injuries, between like teams like the Dolphins and so on.
Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah, with like Jets and Dolphins, there should be 4 wins pretty much every year for Josh. So I think he's got the tangibles. He can definitely do it, though. They will always be a playoff team. I just think they need to get over that one last hump of whatever that may be, if it's a mental block, if it's whatever, to therefore go and take the next step to the Super Bowl.
I think he wins the Super Bowl in Buffalo. I think they win the division this year. Maybe not, but at least the next 2 seasons they have a good shot. This would be the year with the distractions we talked about with the Patriots to take the division. Just his stats, his completion percentage has gone up each year. Last year was almost 69%, just a little over 69%. However, the touchdowns and interceptions, the touchdowns decreased and the interceptions increased. Now, I think DJ Moore can help with that because you're bringing in a receiver that has 6 touchdowns last year, almost 700 yards. DJ Moore had a career year 3 years ago with over 1,300 yards. I think he can get back to that being wide receiver number 1. So he has the help. He has the running game. I think Buffalo, this is their window. You take the window now while the Chiefs are down.
Yep.
You take the window now while the Pats are distracted. You go win the Super Bowl within the next 3 seasons. Because after that, I don't know.
Bonus, just real quick, apologies. You are also in the greatest fan land of all time. Get home field and ride the Buffalo wave. Those fans won a Super Bowl more than any other fan base, I'd argue.
Buffalo will burn when they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well. So many tables are getting broken.
I was saying Walmart's going to have a field
Yeah.
selling some tables, dude.
You might have to put the National Guard at every Walmart out there.
That's good. That's good. I still don't think he's going to win in Buffalo, but
I
Where do
respect
you
your
think he's
take.
gonna?
very good
Where's
takes,
he gonna-
gentlemen.
Where's he going to win?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
No,
I was waiting for it.
no,
Let's trade Joe Burrow for Josh Allen straight up.
I wouldn't turn that down.
Actually, yeah, I said it. It's like, all right, that's a pretty.
You know what?
Jamar Chase and Josh Allen, my God.
You go, Glenn Coco. You get a couple points for that one. Diving back into NCAA, Alabama will never be a force to be reckoned with like they were in the Saban era, while DeBoer is their head coach. Jeff, you get us going.
I think this all comes down to NIL. Every team can retool now in the NIL, and Alabama is not Alabama. I mean, they're still Alabama, but now every team can match Alabama with transfer portal and NIL. Unless they somehow figure that out, I don't think it matters who the head coach is. I think Alabama will not be as dominant as they were under Saban with NIL. And Saban has come out and said he hated NIL.
Why
and
retired?
yeah. And the landscape for him would be vastly different if every team had NIL when Saban was the head coach and they could spend the money like they did. I think Alabama's not as dominant under Saban if what's in place today was in place back then.
Brandon, would you like to go? You want me to go?
I'm going to say it. I don't think DeBoer will do anything with Alabama, and I think it's clear after the past 2 seasons we've seen. I mean, he came from the Pac-12, completely different conference in college football, which we've seen, and I think it is showing that he is not. I'm just going to say ready, I guess, for that next step of going to the SEC. I think that he's got potential, but I don't think as of right now, with the amount of talent of head coaches we have, especially with like a Kirk Cignetti, for example, the amount that he can actually recruit people. I mean, like Jeff said, you have the transfer portal and all this, but as of right now, kids are more than likely to go to Indiana because of the powerhouse that they are, even whatever money they're being offered. So I think Kalen DeBoer was always at a disadvantage, especially trying to follow in Coach Saban's footsteps. So I think that Alabama football needed to definitely have lower expectations, and I think it's showing that he was not ready for the leap. I'm not saying that they haven't had winning seasons and so on, but they definitely have not been the same Alabama Crimson Tide that we are know and used to. And I think that if he does not get his shit together in, I would say, the next 2 years, then you will definitely see Alabama going into a coaching change.
So I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I think Kalen DeBoer is actually a really good coach, and I think Alabama gets in their own way here. Alabama's boosters and fans are way too hard on a pretty winning coach there. Give him time and let him build a program. They have an advantage most states do not have. Alabama has a talent pool not many states in America have. So if he can get recruiting straight and the boosters get on board with NIL, I believe in Kalen DeBoer, and I actually do think if he gets the right coaches around him, mainly on defense because he has an offensive background, I think Kalen DeBoer can win a natty, but obviously it will not be in the shortcoming. You let him build the program and let him get to where I think he can build a program to be. I do have faith in DeBoer.
Say last 2 topics for the inaugural night of this segment, because it'll be a little more polished next time. With the World Cup, Argentina wasn't as good as everyone made them to be. They got put lucky into the lack of competition in their group staging to have the easy way to the finals. Brendan can start us with that one.
1 second. So I'm going to disagree with this. Yes, I understand that they had Jordan, Algeria, and Austria in their division. I think Argentina was a good team, and they showed it by making the World Cup final. And I can argue that Spain was not a very exciting team to even make the World Cup final. Half their games ended in 1-0 or 0-0s or just straight up boring draws.
Can agree with that.
So I think it just came down to, like we talked about earlier, there being turmoil in the locker room. I think the head coach was on a power trip, which kind of in the long run did not do well for Argentina. I think that Spain definitely played better in that final. I mean, we see it, they won the game, but I also think that it was a boring brand of football. So I think that no matter who played Spain in the final, I think Spain would have won because of the brand of football they play. So I think Argentina went into this as a lose-lose situation here, because either they won and Messi got another, or they lost and everyone's just going to go back to referees helping them, age, this, that, and the other. So I think no matter what happened between them, that Argentina was in a lose-lose situation here from the rip.
Me or Jeff? I'll jump on
Jordan,
this
go.
one. I do agree with you, Brian. Argentina, in my opinion, got a little lucky with the group stage pool they had, obviously, with, like Brennan said, Jordan, Algeria, Austria. But then I think a lot of people are forgetting the Egypt goal that got called back for 30 seconds prior for a tackle. So there was definitely benefits they had gotten through, whether you want to call it what VAR is, but that, and then an easy schedule. If they had to go through what Spain had to go through, Portugal and France, before even getting to the semis and the final, I don't know if they would have gotten there, especially France. I think France would have been a horrible matchup. So I think Brennan's right at the end of the day. Spain was going to win no matter what. Spain was absolutely phenomenal and good for them. But Argentina got blessed to be on that right side of the bracket away from Portugal, France, Spain until the final. Obviously, they had England, but we had all said England was suspect from the get-go, and England had quite an easy path to get to the semifinals as well. And Argentina relied too much on a 39-year-old Messi, and I think the rest of their roster in the final kind of showed they couldn't do anything to pick him up when they couldn't even hold possession, for God's sake, and Spain just dominated them. So I do agree with your take there, Brian.
I will go with Jordan on this. I think they lucked into where they were. The group stage is the group stage. It is what it is. I think that was one of the easier group stages I had. To me, they got exposed very early on in the round of 32 with Cabo Verde taking them basically to the wire. I don't think any of us saw that happening. They lucked out on Egypt. Egypt should have won that game, barring historic collapse in Atlanta, 28-3. I know, that's whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, they should have lost to Egypt. The Switzerland game was whatever. The England game, for a while, England looked like the better team in that game. They looked like the better team. But again, two late miracle goals yet again. But I think going into the final with Spain basically conceding absolutely next to nothing, it was pretty predetermined if you had watched any of the World Cup that Argentina really, that was going to be their toughest test. And they, based off of their exposure between the semifinals, the quarters, and the round of 32, if you watched the brand of football between Spain and Argentina, you knew this was their first real test, and everything that should have exposed them in the final. And Spain's defense was just out of this world. So they lucked
Real,
getting into the final, and they got exposed in the final.
real quick, I do want to say we also are forgetting about this fact that Spain and Belgium went into extra time, and potentially the only reason Spain won is
True.
because Belgium's starting goalkeeper went out with injury, and they had to
Mhm.
replace him. So we technically don't know how that game would have ended if Courtois stayed healthy. So therefore, this could have been a whole different conversation of who was in the final. So I think
True.
you got to take that into account, that no matter what happened, because if we throw it all the way back, we're not talking about them, but England and Congo. Congo is winning 1-0 for 45 minutes of that game until England turned it around. So every game, there was always that one team that had a flash of something before the teams that should have won finally did it. So I think it just comes down to the fact of when do these teams want to just turn it on and actually end the game.
To that point, Egypt had the lead for what, 85 minutes, and it took 3 goals in 13 minutes for Argentina to escape. I mean, that offsides in the Egypt should have been a third goal for Egypt. Absolutely should have been a third goal. And you can debate VAR and all this stuff, but again, Egypt lost that game. But for a while, Egypt was the team that should have taken down Argentina.
I just want to finish on, first of all, thank you to the World Cup, because it gave me a month and a half of the best entertainment possible. And I want to say that's why soccer is such a beautiful game, and I'm so glad Americans watched it. There are so few goal-scoring opportunities throughout a game. Kind of like Brennan just said, what team can capitalize at the end of the game? And that's where Argentina did. Every game, they scored like 12 goals after the 75th minute. And I'm really glad we got to experience this as a country in America. So I'll say it 100 times. The World Cup this year, phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal.
Going off of that, I think 2030, it has been confirmed there will be 64 teams that make it instead of 32. That World
the
Cup,
knockout?
no,
To
64,
qualify, yeah.
64 teams
qualify.
will qualify for next World Cup. Jeff,
What's the question?
that's going to make 2030's World Cup almost more enjoyable than 2026.
I would agree with that because expanding the team by another 32, you better hope Italy gets in at that point. Because if Italy don't get in at 64, oh boy. but I think giving more countries the opportunity. Thank you. Getting more countries the opportunity to get in and showcase. I mean, we saw it with this. Did anybody ever think Cabo Verde would hold a chance and a prayer against superpowers like Argentina?
Yes and
No.
no. Yes and no.
Well, at
Because
least
the
for
fact
me.
that they finished first in the African League, when African nations are known to have some of the better teams / players because of how many of them play in the English
Yeah.
Premier League, I do think that I'm not expecting them to like win anything, but I was expecting Cabo Verde to actually put on a good performance.
Fair. But yeah, I think 64 will make it more exciting. Besides, expands the World Cup lengthwise, and I think we all can agree, like Jordan said, a month and a half of World Cup soccer gave everyone around the world life. So, yeah, 64 will be good. Boy, Italy, you are on the clock. You better. Oh boy.
Brendan, do you want to go? You want me to go?
You can go. You can take it.
The asshole. I have to admit, I think what was 48 was this year, and I liked 48.
Yeah,
And my thing, guys, is I like, and I know knockout rounds, you get to the cream of the crop, the cream rises, whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
There was teams like Iraq this year. Iraq lost 5-0 to Senegal, 3-0 to France, and then 4-1 to Norway. I don't want more of that. Cape Verde was a bit of an outlier, but like Brendan said, they had the credentials. They won the Africa. I mean, they were not bad. But a team like Iraq, and I'm not trying to pick on Iraq, forgive me, but I don't want there to be the group stage games where there's just the one poor team that barely makes it from, some tiny Asian country or whatever, comes into the World Cup, super excited to be there. Congratulations, you're there. And then just gets absolutely demolished for 3 games. And then as a viewer, I don't really have as much desire to watch that. Whereas I want the best teams in the tournament from even the group stage. I know there's going to be bad teams. I get that. But I want to see the best possible product and not kind of get my time wasted watching poor Iraq lose 5-0 to Senegal. I mean, so that's where we have to find a balance of too many teams and then enough teams to give teams a chance. But the more teams we allow in, the more we're going to get the country that has zero possible chance of remotely winning a game, like Iraq per se. And then what was the team Germany beat 7-1? I can't remember. Carousel? Forgive me if I'm forgetting here. I think it was Carousel who got blown out badly. And it just I would feel bad for those teams. So we need to find the balance of giving teams an opportunity or just letting in Joe Schmo to come get demolished.
It was Caraco.
Caraco, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I still think with the expanded field, the cream of the crop will rise to the top once knockouts happen.
I'm going to piggyback off of this with Jordan. I kind of agree. I don't want to just see oversaturated games of just these countries coming in and just getting absolutely shit on and kind of just taking up, I don't want to say games, but potentially where players could get injured playing meaningless games against meaningless countries. I think it's just, it oversaturates everything. And like Jordan said with Iraq, I'm going to throw another one out there. Uzbekistan. They didn't win a single game. Everything, they lost to Portugal 5-0, Congo 3-1, Colombia 3-1. I think it becomes a point where it's like, yes, it's cool for these countries, they get out there, they get seen, but I think it just becomes a thing where it's pretty much just practice for some of these bigger teams. It's basically a friendly at this point. There's no competition in it. They don't get anything out of this. And it's an oversaturation. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I love all the soccer. I love Give It To Me All. I had a blast this summer. But it becomes a point where it's like too many teams becomes almost a burden at one point.
So I'm going to piggyback off what he just said again. I want you guys to imagine college football. Let's say we let into the college football playoff 32 teams, and you have the number. I mean, I'm sorry. When you get to the oversaturation, some of these big schools can put in their second string and probably beat the brakes off of a Boise State, off of I mean, you name it, Tulsa, stuff like that. So if the college football reminds me a lot, there's a lot of college football teams, there's a lot of countries. We need to find the balance of like a 16-team playoff versus a 32-team, 40-team, right? So don't oversaturate the field where there's no talent to play these guys, but make sure the teams that deserve to be in there are in there.
Real quick, especially because I mean, I talked about this with Jordan. Half of England's and France's team could have made up a Jamaica team or a Ghana team. So you have a lot of these players that are going to play for bigger clubs instead of their true nationality club, which where if they just did that, it would make games a lot more interesting. And teams like Jamaica, they would have a massive fan base behind them, and it would make things way more exciting than seeing these guys play for England, going out there and losing. And then it's just like I don't want to say they don't care, but it's like at the end of the day, that's not their nationality. So what are they losing?
And that's time.